I explored Disney's abandoned river country. I should have let it keep me. I was 6 years old the first time I learned that joy is just bait. That sounds wrong. Disney was supposed to be safe, bright, a place where music piped through the air on invisible wires, and adults smiled because they had been paid to forget that the world outside had edges, that it cut. But the day my sister died, the sky over river country was the color of a bruise going yellow. It had been raining since morning, not hard enough to close the park, just enough to make everything slick. Just enough to make the lake look like something poured from the bottom of an old jar, dark and still and not quite right. My dad kept saying, "It'll clear up." My mom kept saying, "We paid for the tickets." My sister Emily laughed at both of them. She was 10 years old, 4 years older than me. She had a yellow swimsuit and a missing front tooth, and the kind of confidence that only exists in children who haven't learned yet that the world is mostly waiting. She called me Bug. "Come on, Bug," she said, squeezing my hand as the rain spotted the pavement around us. "It's just water." That was the thing about Emily. She was never scared of water. Not pools, not lakes, not the black chop of Bay Cove when the clouds rolled in over Bay Lake, and the surface stopped looking like water and started looking like something else entirely. I was scared. I couldn't say why. I was 6. Fear at 6 doesn't have a reason. It just has a shape. And the shape of Bay Cove that day was wrong in a way my body understood before my mind caught up. But I remember the lifeguard. He was older than the teenagers in red shorts, maybe 30, maybe older. It was hard to tell because his skin had a soft, pallid quality, like something that had been wet too long. His hair was slicked flat and dripping, though I never saw him come out of the water. He wore a white shirt with lifeguard printed across the chest in red letters that had faded to the color of old rust. He smiled at Emily. Only Emily. Every time we passed Bay Cove, he was standing there, too still. Hands clasped behind his back, whistle against his chest, not watching the water the way lifeguards are supposed to. Watching her. The first time, Emily smiled back. The second time, she started listening. That is the only word for it. She would stop mid-step and tilt her head like someone had spoken to her from a long way away. Not hearing, listening. The way you listen to something that is trying not to be heard. I tugged her hand. "Em?" She blinked down at me. "What?" "Who are you listening to?" She looked back at the lifeguard. He raised one finger to his lips. Then he lifted the whistle. I saw him blow it. His cheeks hollowed. His throat moved. The cord swung. No sound came out. Not for me. Emily heard it. Her face changed. Not frightened. The opposite of frightened. Secret happy. The way children look when someone has promised them something they know they're not supposed to want. She leaned down and whispered, "He says we can come back after closing." I shook my head. "No." She grinned. "You're such a baby, Bug." Then she ran ahead into the gray morning. That was the last time I saw her as herself. The official story is the shortest one. Emily drowned in Bay Cove sometime before sunset. There was confusion, weather, guests leaving early. My parents each thought she was with the other. By the time anyone realized, the rain had come back harder, and the lake was doing what lakes do, keeping its secrets underneath. I told the police what I saw at the end, Emily in the water, standing, not floating, waist deep where the water should have been over her head, the lifeguard behind her with one hand on her shoulder, her looking at me, smiling, both of them going down without a ripple. The police said I was traumatized. My father told me never to repeat it. My mother slapped me so hard my ear rang, and then folded around me and cried until she soaked through my shirt. She never really stopped crying after that. She just went quiet about it. After Emily died, my mother started listening too. At first, she was just hollow. She moved through the house like someone trying to remember how to be in a body. She forgot food in the oven. She stood in doorways. She sat on Emily's bed and brushed the hair of dolls Emily had outgrown before she ever had a chance to grow into anything else. Then came the VHS tapes. My father had filmed everything on that trip. The hotel, breakfast, Emily dancing barefoot on the carpet, river country under gray skies. My mother watched those tapes every night, sometimes pausing on a single frame and pressing her face so close to the television that her breath fogged the glass. Some nights, I woke at 2 or 3 in the morning and saw the blue light pulsing under her door. She stopped sleeping. She stopped eating. She started stacking towels by the back door whenever it rained. Clean ones. Folded ones. Like she was expecting someone soaked to come home. One night when I was 7, I found her on the kitchen floor with every light blazing, rain hammering the windows, every faucet in the house running full. She looked at me and whispered, "Don't answer her." Who? Her lips barely moved. Emily keeps coming home wet. 2 years after Emily died, my mother took her own life during a thunderstorm. I was 8. My father found her in the upstairs bathroom. I won't describe it. All you need to know is that the bathtub was full. Every faucet in the house had been turned on, and on the fogged mirror, written with one shaking finger, "She is not the one at the door." After that, my father packed everything away. Emily's things, my mother's things, the tapes. He never spoke about river country again. Neither did I. But silence doesn't bury anything. It just teaches what's underneath to be patient. My father died last October. Heart attack in the garage. He had been alone. I flew home to sort through the house. Behind paint cans and Christmas decorations in the garage, sealed with duct tape, I found a plastic storage bin. Old vacation shirts, water-damaged photo envelopes, a stack of VHS tapes. One tape sat on top, white label. My mother's handwriting. Disney, River Country, June 1995. Underneath, in my father's hand, darker and jagged, like someone pressing too hard. Do not watch. I watched it that night. Most of it was ordinary. That was the cruelest part. How ordinary most of it was. My mother laughing behind the camera. My dad waving a park map around. Me crying because my poncho smelled like plastic. Emily dancing. Emily grinning. Emily alive in that specific, unrepeatable way that only exists before you know what you're going to lose. Then river country. Gray sky. Wet walkways. Emily turning to the lens. "Come on, Bug. Last one in has to marry Goofy." I had forgotten her voice. Not completely, but enough that hearing it again felt like being opened with something small and precise. The tape jumped to static. Then Bay Cove. Shaky footage. My father filming from a distance. Emily standing near the water with her back to him, talking to someone off camera. My father zoomed in. A man's voice. Faint, just beneath the rain. "You don't have to leave when they do." My father whispered, "Who is she talking to?" Emily giggled. Then she said, "But he said if I come back after dark, I can stay forever." My father called her name. The image tore into static. 3 seconds of nothing, then one frame. I rewound it a dozen times to hold it long enough to see. Bay Cove, rain on black water. The lifeguard standing waist-deep, white shirt dark with wet, and beneath him, something in the water. A pale shape. Too wide. Too long. A face pressed against the surface from below. Stretched, like a hand pushing through a membrane. Its mouth was open. It had been waiting a very long time. There was also my mother's journal in the bin. The last pages were half dissolved by water damage, but one entry survived. 3 days before she died. He keeps bringing her back. She stands outside when it rains. She asks to come inside. But that isn't Emily. Emily is still in the water. If Nate hears the whistle, don't let him go near the lake. I read it until the words stopped looking like words. Then I booked a flight to Florida. I run a YouTube channel, Abandoned Places, Nostalgia Rot. I had around 42,000 subscribers at the time, enough to feel like something, not enough to matter. I told myself I was going back for answers. I brought 3 cameras, 2 battery packs and a thumbnail already half designed in my head. That's the shameful part. Grief and content look the same when you're desperate enough. They wear the same face. They ask for the same thing. I filmed the intro from the rental car, voice steady enough, just barely. My name is Nathan Price. When I was 6 years old, my sister died at Disney's River Country. I stopped there. My hands wouldn't. Getting in is not something I'll explain. Some fences aren't challenges. Some places don't need security because what's inside knows you'll regret entering. And regret is its own kind of lock. By the time I reached what remained of River Country, the afternoon had curdled. The first thing was the smell. Wet leaves, rotting wood, and underneath it, sweet, overripe, like fruit left in a hot car past the point of fruit. The park didn't look abandoned. It looked paused. The paths were overgrown, yes. The signs were sun-bleached. The wood had warped. But there was a quality to the air, a held breath feeling, like everything had only stepped away for a moment, like the music might start again, like children might come running, like a whistle might blow. I turned on my camera. Something splashed, not near me, farther in, toward Bay Cove. I stood still and listened. Rain began to fall, soft at first, warm drops on leaves. Of course it would rain. Of course the sky would remember. My camera battery dropped from 91% to 18% in less than 15 minutes, then to 6%, then jumped to 47%. The screen flickered, and for 1 second, the viewfinder showed something that was not in front of me. A girl in a yellow swimsuit at the edge of black water. I lowered the camera. Nothing there. Thunder moved across Bay Lake. Then I heard the whistle. One note, clean and sharp. The kind of sound that doesn't bounce off anything, that goes straight into bone. I said quietly, to no one, no. A second whistle answered, closer. I kept going. I know how that sounds. I know what you're thinking. But some part of me needed my mother to have been right. And some other part, the uglier part, needed her to have been wrong. That's the thing about grief at 30 years distance. It doesn't feel like grief anymore. It feels like a question you've been carrying so long it's grown into you. Bay Cove looked exactly as I remembered. Everything else had aged, not the water. It was still dark, still smooth, still doing that thing where rain struck its surface without making ripples, as if the surface weren't accepting what fell on it. I stood on the shore and breathed. Emily? I hated myself the moment I said it. The water moved. Not from rain, not from wind. Something beneath it shifted and then settled, the way something large settles when it decides to be still. Then a voice came from the cove. Small, bright, 10 years old. Bug? I dropped the camera. She was there, standing knee-deep, water dark around her calves, yellow swimsuit, side ponytail, the missing tooth. Her skin looked warm and solid and real, not pale, not translucent, not wrong in the ways I had braced for. She looked exactly as she had in 1995. Exactly. That was the first thing that should have stopped me. You came back, she said. I couldn't speak. She tilted her head. You took a long time. I fell to my knees in the mud. I don't remember deciding to. I was just suddenly there, 36 years old, kneeling in the mud of an abandoned water park, sobbing like the 6-year-old I had never really stopped being. Are you real? I asked. Emily looked down at the water around her. For the first time, her smile faltered. I don't know, she said. Behind her, something pale moved beneath the surface. Too long. No shape a living thing should be. Emily's eyes flicked toward it. Fear crossed her face. Real fear. The kind that has no performance in it. Then it was gone. Her smile came back. Too fast, too wide. Come swimming with me, Bug. A voice behind me said, You shouldn't be here before closing. I turned. The lifeguard stood on the path. He looked the same as he had in 1995. Not similar, not like him, the same. 30 years and not a day different. Up close, I saw what I hadn't been able to see as a child. What my child's mind had softened into something manageable. His skin was swollen, translucent in places, dark veins moving slowly underneath, like water finding channels through silt. His eyes were pale blue, almost white, the color of water under ice. His lips were too red. When he smiled, water moved between his teeth. "You remember me?" he said, gently. That was the worst part, the gentleness. "You killed her." His smile didn't waver. "Children drown every day," Emily whispered from the water. "Nate, don't listen to him." He lifted the whistle and turned it in his fingers. "Your mother listened. Every storm, every drain, every glass of water beside her bed." He let that sit. "She tried to keep you away. She was a good mother." He tilted his head. "Bad ending." I charged him. I don't know what I thought I was going to do. Hit him, tackle him, kill something with my hands that probably wasn't alive in any sense I had words for. But the dock behind me groaned. A boat had drifted in from the direction of Bay Lake. Old, flat-bottomed, peeling paint and a rope trailing behind it through the black water. It bumped the dock once, like a knock. Emily shouted, "Get in!" And her voice cracked on it, and I heard the child she had never finished being. I ran for the boat. The lifeguard stepped into the water. He didn't swim. He walked straight down. Water rose up his legs, his chest, his chin. His pale eyes held mine until the surface closed over them. No ripple, no bubbles. Then the cove was silent. Then the boat lifted. Something struck from below. What happened next is not something I can describe in order. My body cam caught most of it, but the footage doesn't make sense as footage. The frame rate is wrong. The angles are wrong. The geometry of the cove in the video doesn't match the geometry of the cove I was standing in. What I can tell you is this. The cove stretched. That's the only word. The small enclosed swimming area spread outward, wider, deeper, the shoreline pulling back into darkness while the abandoned park lights flickered on behind me. Yellow, impossible, buzzing with life. Old music crackled from speakers that should have been rotted silent 20 years ago. Warped and slow. A song played on wet tape. Children laughed under the boat. I looked over the side. They were there, walking on the bottom, looking up through black water at the hull above them. Their mouths open in silence that might have been laughter or might have been something older than laughter. The fake Emily appeared beside the boat, just her head above the surface, and she said, "It doesn't hurt after the first breath." And I wanted to believe her. That's the part I'm not proud of. I wanted to believe her. Because 30 years is a long time to be the person who survived, and some part of me had never stopped thinking I shouldn't have. Then the monster rose. Not fully. It never rose fully. Just enough. A pale mass breaking the surface behind the boat, soft and vast and wrong in the way that things are wrong when they have grown in a place where nothing should grow. Its mouth opened sideways, too wide, lined with teeth like old broken shells, faces pressed from inside its skin like hands pushing against a membrane. Children's faces, adult faces, some of them recent, most of them not. The lifeguard rose from its back. He had never been separate from it. He was part of it, a lure, a face, a shape children would trust, a costume the water had learned to wear. He smiled at me and climbed over the stern. "Magic always needs children," he said. The monster spoke with my mother's voice. "Don't answer her, Nate." Something in me went very quiet. Not calm, not still, just empty. The particular emptiness that comes after 30 years of carrying something you cannot put down. I found the rusted boat hook at the bottom. I swung it. The hook caught his shoulder and tore through him like waterlogged paper. No blood, only black water, and inside the wound, small fingers pushing outward. He laughed. Emily's laugh. My father's laugh. My own laugh as a child. I swung again. He caught the hook, bent the metal in his fist like it was nothing. Your sister wanted to stay. No. Your mother wanted to join her. No. His face split wider, hinged wrong, opening past what a face can open. You came back because some part of you does too. I couldn't say he was wrong. The monster bumped the boat and I fell. The lifeguard leaned over me, and water poured from his mouth in a steady stream, and his pale eyes were patient in a way that had nothing to do with anything human. He had been patient for a very long time. He would be patient longer. I got one hand into the emergency box under the seat. 2 flares, a coil of rope, a rusted fuel can. I lit the flare. Red light burst across the water. The children under the surface screamed. I felt it more than heard it, a vibration through the hull, and the lifeguard recoiled, his skin smoking not with burning, but with something older than burning, the way wet wood smokes before it finds a flame. I shoved the flare into his mouth. He convulsed. His face opened. Inside him was black water all the way down. He fell back into the cove, and the monster screamed with him. 100 voices at once, all of them belonging to someone who had come here once wanting to have a good day. I opened the fuel can. The real Emily was there, under the monster's skin, her face pressed outward from its throat, mouth moving, eyes open and afraid, and 30 years older than the last time I had seen them. She mouthed one word: burn. The fake Emily rose beside me, sobbing now, and she said, Bug, please. Please don't hurt me. Her voice destroyed me. It always will. I held the flare over the open can and looked at the thing wearing my sister's face. For 1 second, her eyes were brown. For 1 second, they were hers, my sister, real and present and terrified. Then white flooded over them. The lifeguard's voice whispered from her mouth, Good boy. I threw the fuel into the monster's open throat and followed it with the flare. The explosion was not the kind movies prepare you for. It was ugly and wet and red, and it illuminated the inside of the monster the way a candle illuminates a cave. You see the scale of it for the first time, and you understand that you never understood it at all. Every face appeared at once, dozens, hundreds, children and parents and strangers, people who had come to a water park on a summer day and never come home, all of them pressing toward the surface from inside, all of them seeing the light. And Emily, my Emily, not the child I had lost, older, almost 11, almost 12, almost the version of herself she never got to become. She looked at me across 30 years of black water. She raised her hand, not waving, saying goodbye. Again. Bay Cove collapsed inward. The water dropped like something had been unplugged from the bottom of the world. The boat flipped. I went under. I woke up in my motel bathtub, fully clothed, covered in mud, lake water pooling around my shoes, my camera bag on the floor beside me, dry, which was not possible. Every file on every camera was corrupted, except one, 9 seconds long, black screen, water dripping. Then Emily's voice, older, quiet, worn. Don't come back alone. Then a man laughed. A whistle blew. The file ended. I uploaded what I had. It stayed online for 3 hours. Then it was gone. Not flagged, not claimed, not removed by any process I could appeal or trace. Gone, the way something is gone when it was never supposed to exist. My channel remained. Every other video remained. That one had never been. People sent screenshots before it disappeared. In one, I'm in the boat after the explosion, staring into the water. Behind me stands a girl in a yellow swimsuit, older than 10. In another, 2 pale eyes are visible beneath the hull. In the last frame anyone captured, a white-shirted lifeguard stands on the shore behind me. His face is burned away. He is still smiling. The top comment came from an account created in 2007. No picture, no videos. Username, Bay Cove Lifeguard 95. You left before closing again. That was 6 days ago. Every night at 8:17, I hear a whistle. Once from the shower drain, once from the kitchen sink, once from the rain gutter outside my window, last night from the glass of water on my nightstand. This morning there were wet footprints in the hallway, small ones. They stopped outside my bedroom door. I want to believe it's Emily. I want to believe she followed me home because she's free now, because what I did meant something, because the explosion and the burning and the collapse of that terrible mouth was an ending and not just a pause. But I keep reading my mother's last line. If Nate hears the whistle, don't let him go near the lake. The problem is the lake isn't the problem anymore. There's water everywhere, in pipes, in drains, in rain, in the glass beside my bed, in the bathtub where I wake up without knowing how I got there, my clothes still wet, mud still under my nails. I think I understand my mother now, not in the way I wanted to. She wasn't losing her mind. She wasn't overwhelmed by grief into madness. She was tracking something, documenting, trying to warn whoever came after her. She ran out of time. Or the water ran out of patience. I'm writing this down because I think I'm running out of time too. Not because it's coming for me, because I'm not sure it ever let me go. The explosion, the flare, the burning. Maybe that was real. Maybe Emily is free. Maybe I did something that mattered. Or maybe the monster knows something my mother learned too late. You don't need a lake. You just need something that loves you enough to go in after you. And I've had water in my lungs since Bay Cove. Not drowning, just waiting. My bathroom faucet turned on by itself 10 minutes ago. I can hear it running, slow and steady, the sound of something filling up. And behind the bathroom door, my sister's voice just said, "Bug?" She sounds older this time. She sounds tired. She sounds like she's been waiting 30 years for me to stop being scared of the water. And the thing is, I'm not scared anymore. That's what I'm most afraid of.